Hello, my name is Victoria and I am 54 years old, and today is day 10 of my Talking to Camera challenge. It's a challenge that I've set myself because I wanted to step out of my comfort zone and improve my confidence in standing in front of a camera and talking. I also wanted to improve my consistency in uploading videos, and so that's all part of this challenge. So today I'm going to talk about the 3 things on the top of my to-do list, and that includes exercise, writing 100 words, and making videos. And I'm also going to talk about my weekly newsletter. And the last thing I'm going to mention is the tagline that I've added to my YouTube banner when you look at my YouTube channel. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is exercise. And I have started the Couch to 5K program. And it's a program where you can slowly build up to running 5K over a 9-week session. Basically, it's for people who have never run before and need some sort of guidance to help them get to the goal of running 5K, which is about 30 minutes of running non-stop. I am currently on week 2. I just did week 2, the first session, and that includes running for 90 seconds and then walking for a bit of a break, and then doing another 90 seconds of running. Now my running, I call it running, I have to laugh because I go as slow as possible because I want to make sure that I don't hurt myself, and I want to make sure that I actually complete the actual program. I've tried this Couch to 5K program twice before, and I got to a few weeks in, but the motivation and the inspiration let me down and I didn't finish it. So this time I want to try and finish it. So I'm going as slowly as possible so that I don't injure myself and I can say that I've done it. So I've done session 1 for week 2, and I'll be doing the next session in the next couple of days. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is writing 100 words. And this is actually linked to me going out and doing my session of the Couch to 5K run. Because when I got up in the morning to do it, I was raring to go. Not really, I wasn't raring to go. Who is raring to go for a run? Not me. But I got ready, got dressed. I went to get my earbuds to use with my phone, so that it's wireless, and for some reason it wouldn't connect. I'd opened the door, I stepped out, I pressed play on my phone, and it just wouldn't connect. And so I went back inside the house and I tried to figure out why it wouldn't connect. So I was messing about trying to figure out levels, trying to connect to the Bluetooth, and it just wouldn't work. So I gave up. I went back to the old-fashioned headphones of the wire connected to the phone, and I was ready to go. That was the first obstacle. Okay. Then my phone rang and it was my dad. Now, my mum has Alzheimer's, and so we have a daily carer, and the carer hadn't turned up, and my parents were due to go to church, and yeah, the carer hadn't turned up. So my dad called to find out what was happening, and of course that meant I had to find out where the carer was and what happened. So I was getting in touch with the agency. It's a Sunday, so it's an out of office number, and I had to explain to someone I'd never spoken to before what happened. And so that took time, and eventually we got it sorted. We got the carer to turn up. Everything was fine, but of course I was sitting there thinking, oh, can I really be bothered to go out running now? But I was dressed, I was ready, the trainers were on. It was a nice day, and I thought, if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it, and I can't give up already in week 2. So I took a deep breath, got my phone, got my headphones, opened the door, stepped out, and did it. And so that's what I wrote about in my 100 words. I wrote more than 100 words because I really needed to get all that information out once I got back from the run. And I was so happy that I went, did it, came home, and I could get on with the rest of my day. All right, the third thing I'm going to talk about is making videos. As I mentioned, this is the 10th video I've made in a row, and I've certainly learned a lot of things so far. I've learned that I can actually stand in front of a camera and talk. I am still making a lot of mistakes. I'm still very nervous of standing in front of a camera. There are lots of ums and ahs, and I trip over my words, but I thought I'm going to keep it in the video because this is what everyone has to go through when they're trying to make videos. It's not natural. Some people, I think, can naturally just speak without any ums and ahs, but a lot of us find it difficult, especially without a script. I'm not using a script because I wanted to see if I could do this naturally. So I've got bullet points. My bullet points is here, stuck underneath my camera so that I can refer to those notes. But as I said, this is me stepping out of my comfort zone to make videos, and I've learned that, yes, as I said, I can do it. The editing I'm doing is quite simple. Actually takes up much more time than the actual recording of these videos, and so that means that doing this daily, I'm getting the practice in of editing, trying to figure out, you know, the quickest way to do things. And so that's another great lesson of making these videos. I'm not quite sure how long this challenge will last. As I said, I've done 10 days so far. I might do another 10. I'm not quite sure. It all depends on what happens in life. But so far, so good. And the last thing, no, not the last thing I'm going to talk about. The one thing I want to talk about, the next thing I want to talk about, as I said, see, I'm tripping over my words. If I look at my notes, I'll see the next thing I want to talk about is my weekly newsletter. I set up a weekly newsletter because I wanted to create a community of people who are, you know, like-minded, who are interested in the same sort of things that I am, which is stepping out of your comfort zone and making YouTube videos, as well as writing fiction or non-fiction. So if you're interested in following my journey, and if I can provide some sort of information or inspiration for you, I would love you to join. I've left the link in the description below, and it will be in the pinned comments of this video. So yeah, please sign up. I would love to hear from anybody who's going through the same thing as me, who's interested in making videos, who's nervous about making videos. If you're over 40, if you're over 50, if you live in London, if you live in any other part of the world, it would be great to connect. So please, as I said, sign up to my newsletter and I will endeavour to send it out on a weekly basis. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the change I've made to the tagline on my YouTube banner. Before, it used to be my name, Victoria, and underneath it said, it used to say, I read, I write, I travel. I still do those three things, but I decided to change it up a bit, and I've changed it to, I've written it down because it's so new I can't remember what it says. So now it says Victoria, and the tagline underneath says, creating a more confident, interesting life after 50. Yes, that is definitely something that I want to do, and I feel like that incorporates everything that I'm interested in doing, which is traveling. I love going on cruises. Writing. I love writing short stories. And making videos, which is what I'm doing here today. So yeah, those are the things I wanted to talk about today in today's video. As I said, I am a work in progress, and I look forward to, yes, improving day by day, week by week. And I hope that if you're thinking about making videos, that you step out of your own comfort zone and just go for it. In the beginning, no one's watching, so it's fine. So even if you make mistakes, who cares? No one cares. So I would definitely say give it a go. If you are inspired, please leave a comment down below to let me know if you are a beginner YouTuber, or even if you are an experienced YouTuber and you've got some tips and tricks that you want to share with me. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.